Anna, what's up? How are
Hey,
you?
my dear, finally.
Yeah, right.
I'm very
we've
good,
been
thank you.
we've been talking about doing. I think the first time I invited you to do this, you said no, and
No, I
then
said
yeah,
no because I was a little bit insecure about my English. I said, can we go into deeper conversations in English? But I have been developing, so now I'm a little bit better.
yeah.
And I'd rather do it, and not in a perfect way, than not do it. So let's do it.
That's well, I think your English is great, and I don't speak much of anything. I speak a little bit of Russian, pretty poorly. Yeah, I
Then
learned it in high school a little bit, and then I went to graduate school, and I went to Russia for a little while, and I had a Russian girlfriend who didn't speak English. So we had to so I learned Russian like a cab driver Russian. I speak bad Russian.
I am Brazilian, so I speak Portuguese and I speak Spanish because I lived in Barcelona for 8 years, and English, so I can make myself
Wow.
around.
Okay. See, I'm impressed. Like a proper world citizen. Well, speaking of world citizen, well, I want to talk about, of course, our track and well tracks. We have a couple that are coming out and like the
Already.
process there. Yeah, but you're someone who gets around the world. I mean, where are you right now, for instance? Like,
I am in Barcelona. Decided to
okay,
come here 5 days ago, but I'm touring tomorrow in Copenhagen, Denmark.
you're always doing gigs,
I'm
right?
always
Like, I
have
mean,
one
you play massive uh, techno events pretty much is your main thing, like every weekend, maybe?
every weekend. And because I am a DJ, and I don't travel a lot with a lot of equipment, so it's very easy to travel.
So,
So if I
don't even
want,
tell me that. I'm so jealous. I
yes, if
can't
I
even
want,
tell
I
you how
can
jealous
play.
I am.
I usually during the summer I can play 6, 7 gigs per week, but I
Oh
don't
my
want to
God.
make myself that busy. But I've been very busy playing 3, 4 countries a week.
It's
So
crazy. So when you were playing Coachella, you invited me to visit, and I remember standing with you right behind you, and I was so struck by how you you came on like maybe 5 minutes before you were supposed to play, and within minutes you just started playing, and there was no sound check. There's no, it just you just can just drop into the space, slay it, and that's it, and then you're done. I was just like, I this is amazing. It's an amazing feeling.
I'm very used to do this already. I don't need that preparation. I don't need to put myself in the mood. So when I go, I'm there 100%. So I don't need any kind of preparation. And I play with. Sometimes I have external effects, but mainly I play with digital stuff. So I know everything is already perfect. I don't have to do sound check. I used to play with vinyls, so I always had to do
Wow.
sound checks before. But right now it's easier. It's difficult. You arrive at the club and things are not working, especially at Coachella. I knew, so I don't need any in preparation in advance.
Yeah, they had like a second deck. They just slid it on for you, and it's like seamless, and they have some text there, and I mean, are most of the gigs you're playing that kind of size? I mean, these are like
Yeah.
it's gotta be a strange feeling to, like, I don't know, just kind of drop into a space that has thousands of people in a very high energy state, and then you just kinda slip out.
But it changes. Coachella is not even the biggest.
Uh,
I play for even more people, especially summer, because summer is festival season. So I play
yeah.
for 10,000, 15,000, and I play in clubs for 1,000, for 500. It depends. It goes to 500 to 10,000. And really, for me, to play for 50 people and to for 10,000 people is the same.
Yeah,
Really, I
I
don't
feel
know
it
how
that
to
way, yeah.
explain, but it's the same. It's the same. I put myself there in the same way. It doesn't matter how many people or for who I am playing. It's the same feeling. It's very weird. And I feel that the more distant the crowd is from the stage, and the biggest the number of people, it is more difficult to connect in that like intimate way.
Right.
But the feeling is the same. It's the same. It's the same love.
Isn't it weird though how when you play for like 1 or 2 or 3 people or 10, it's harder? It's like more
It's
intimate, and it's like I'm really nervous. And then if it's a lot of people, I don't know. There's a way where it's almost easier.
I think too much attention on you, like if
Right.
you're with five people, all the attention is on you, and you
Yeah.
are there with them. You have to do something to make them happy or to entertain them. But 10,000
God.
people, you don't even see. But
Yeah.
the energy, if it clicks, if you click with that 10,000 people, the energy is almost it's unbelievable.
So,
What can happen?
yeah, let me connect the dots for people. So, you and I we did one track before called Voyager, and maybe some folks have heard that, and that's out. That was a couple years ago. And
Yes,
we met, actually through Instagram.
yes, I
And
remember.
because I might have messaged you because you liked the flute. Like, you were
Yeah,
into the flute. You're like, "I love the flute. What's that flute?" And I looked you up and I was like, this woman is amazing. She's like slaying it out there. And I was like, we should talk music. And we did, and then we started like working on a track. And I think you also introduced me to Jon Hopkins. So thank you very much for that, which gave us Sit Around the Fire into the world. That's because
exactly.
of you.
That was so
Y-
beautiful. And I had a moment. I was like, I am introducing John Hopkins to East Forest. How how life happened that way? Because I have to say that it is beautiful to be here talking with you today because you have no idea of the impact your music has on me. When I messaged you about the flute, I was listening to you like a long time already, and
mm,
it brings me back to my heart if I'm feeling anxious or out of center. The moment I start listening to your tracks, to your music, I'm right there, with love. So being
oh,
here with you is surreal, and introducing you to John Hopkins and something coming out of there was beautiful, beautiful.
well, I thank you. I mean, we're friends now, and we've collaborated. We know each other. I mean, it's great. And I I should say, so you have your own album. It's your first album that's under your name that's coming out. You've been touring and playing music for many, many years, and you've now finally releasing your own record on Mercury KX. And is the whole album is not out, or did it all come out, or
Yes,
just
now
if
it's the whole album. It was released last May 19. May 19. I've released many music before, but never a whole album.
right,
Being released
right,
singles and two tracks, three tracks EP, but never a whole album.
right. And
And I
and
love
what's
that.
interesting is this is not techno. This is
Exactly.
this is the big thing. I mean, this is the big story with you, I think. So I want to talk about this. Like,
Yeah.
how would you describe the style of the music of your album?
It is ambient music. Yeah, ambient music. But I've been having some troubles with this label at the moment. Ambient music.
Right.
How do you describe this album?
I
How
wouldn't
you
say it's
describe
ambient.
ambient?
See, yeah, people say this to me too. It's like my music. They say, "Oh, I guess it's ambient." I'm like, "Well, yes, but not. It's not just ambient music." For instance, your record has this another song we did together, "Let You In," which I wouldn't call that ambient. It's
No,
sort of
not
like deep
ambient.
house or um,
Is it deep
electro indie
house?
pop. I mean, whatever you want to call it. It's a house beat. It has lyrics. It has
Yes,
it's melodic. Um, I love it. It's kind of in the world of Caribou or Bonobo. And I
exactly.
wouldn't. How would you describe their music?
Electronic,
Yeah.
yeah, deep house. It depends. They also go from ambient to like deep house, but yeah, but it's difficult to describe. But our track is the only track that has beats, and you can dance
Right.
to it. But the whole album is more ambient, more still. There's peak moments of like expansion and everything,
Yeah.
but it's mostly ambient music.
Largely instrumental with
Yeah,
an emotional core, which I would say a lot about my music as well. But so what I found really, this is a look into the process when we were working on. So we did several tracks together, and I would work on first just piano parts, and I'd do them to a beat that was either like 120, 124, 128, somewhere in that range, and then send them to you, and then you would work on more the beats and the synthesizers.
yeah.
and I kept pushing for saying like, "Hey, let's make it harder. Like, let's go." And you would be pushing like, "Let's make it more ambient and emotional." And it's so funny to me. It's like we're both coming from the opposite ends of our like our own music. I think people would think it's the other way around, but
And I want your ambient side. Let's make it. I want to make an ambient music with you, and you want to make a beat and an energetic track with me. So
yeah, you're
we
so good at it. I want to. I was like, let's.
imagine the middle, and I think it's beautiful because it's just with you that I do this specific style, or do more high energy, or more melodic but it's still energetic, or ambient. But with you, it's kind of that deep house, very
In
nice
between.
in between. I love it when we collaborate. I love it.
But that's a good collaboration to me is when you listen to it, you hear both worlds in almost in the middle. And we didn't say, okay, that's what it needs to be. It was that tension between this way, and it ended up in the middle. And I actually really love that space that it's landed in. So you have on your album this track "Let You In," which is out, which I love that track. And then there's another track called "Currents" that will be on my record, "Music for the Deck of the Titanic," and that track will be out a little later in the summer, which I'm excited about. And we recorded. We're trying to do a whole album, but I think we only got what, like 3 or 4, or maybe just 2.
Yeah,
I think
we had this two, and we wanted to do at least five,
we
but then
finished 2.
yeah, we
Yeah.
finished two. I said, "What about I really can I release this one on my album?" And then you
Yeah.
release this one, but let's do more. Let's do more.
I
Let's
know I've been bugging you to do
do
more.
more.
I'm sorry, but I really wanna do more because I would love to tour it. I'd love to have enough that we could tour it because I just
Exactly.
wanna, like, play different shows where I can have some beats, and we can do a little singing, there's a little key part, and it's just
Yes.
fun. I wanna I look at some of those I wanna come with a thumb drive like you and just have a little keyboard and a little
And
microphone,
sometimes
and
I feel bad. I'm like, I just have like a pen drive. I should have some keyboards with
it's
me
not
and
fair. Yeah.
look more like a musician. I
Dude,
should have some
I
keyboards with me.
I
But
wanna kill
no,
myself. I have so much gear, and it's like I just played Bottle Rock, and I was just setting up my stuff, and I remember one of the stage guys came over and said, "Wow, look at all this gear." I was like, "It's not that much gear. It's just like I don't have a drummer. I don't have 8 mu it's just one person." And but s I guess these days, there's a lot of people playing to tracks and things like that, and I'm makes me think, like, if I need to change my setup
maybe you can
to do
have
something
another way to
easier.
perform. Sometimes I maybe I need to bring some more stuff with me, but this is what I do. I'm a DJ. One of the
Yeah.
things I do, I am a DJ and I honor it, and I I have the mixing techniques and how I play in this. You know, I'm like
Yeah.
the shaman of the dance floor. So
Oh,
it's
boy. What you did have some gear though. What kind of gear do you sometimes bring? You had a little tiny you had a controller or something, I think.
yeah, sometimes I bring some external effects, usually reverb or delay. But to DJ is always more with the with digital.
Or it's in the CDJs too, a lot of
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah,
So
but I have the CDJs, the mixer, the four CDJs plus mixer, and the RMX that is an external effect. But sometimes I have another one from Eventide. But
yeah.
mainly this I don't have. But usually the club or the festival they already have everything there. I can ask on my rider. I don't have to travel with it. So it's,
Do they mess that up though and get the wrong thing?
sometimes they connect it wrong, but this is the maximum that can happen, and it's
Yeah.
easy to fix. It's easy to fix.
But when you're in the studio, you use a lot of analog beat machines and synthesizers. It sort of goes the other direction, right?
Yeah, I like
Uh,
to. I like this for creativity to touch because I have a lot of plugins too and softwares, but I like to have the machines and my partner
yeah.
also. So like we are a good combination in the studio.
Yeah. So tell me a bit about this differentiation between DJ and producer. Now, the world you're in, I need to understand this a little better because I can't understand how it's all just one thing and people don't talk about the differences because I think the differences are important. Some people DJ other people's music. Some people DJ their own music. Some people DJ both, and then some people DJ only music that they wrote and produced. Huge difference to me. And yet sometimes from the audience perspective, they don't do they care? Cuz I sense that like you produce music. And when we were like you're in there writing it and playing things and you mix music too and we're going back and forth on mixes. I'm like, yeah, that's a whole other level than if you were strictly going to shows and you're just like really good at curating songs and playing other people's music. So tell me about these different worlds.
Um, yeah, there's so many ways that you can do it. I know DJs that they are very successful producers. They play digital but not CDJs, and they mix samples. They mix other people's track, their own track. So there is so many ways that you can actually DJ without doing a live show.
Mm.
But I am a DJ since I was 14 years old. I never did anything in my life, just this. I
How
started.
how did that start? Like how did you start doing this?
My father was a DJ too, and he had a club in our city, and the countryside of São Paulo, small city in Brazil. But the club was pretty nice actually. People used to travel from like the capital to come to the club, so it was a big thing. And one day when I was 14, my mother and father allowed me to go to the club, and now you can go. We are there and everything. And I complained to my father. Actually, I made a criticism, constructive criticism, because the DJ, the resident DJ, was playing the same tracks, same order, so there was no surprises. I knew what he was gonna do already. So I told my father, and he told me, "Why don't you go there and play yourself? Give it a try." So in 1 week, I had my playlist. Of course, I didn't know how to mix super good and perfectly, but I was playing Brazilian music, so I could just work with volumes and everything. And I developed, with time. But I was playing for 1,500 people after 1 week, and I was 14 years
Wow.
old, and it felt so natural. I remember I
Wow.
had thoughts when I was there playing for that amount of people, like how am I feeling so like so relaxed, and how I'm feeling so at home. Like I didn't understand how this was happening, but this was how it began. I was 14 and now I'm 38, and I never did anything else in my life. I was a
So
DJ.
you've always been playing for big crowds.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, of course
That
I.
was not the case for me.
No, not so big crowds. It was not that I started, and I was lucky, to have the club in the beginning where I could develop the feeling with the crowd and understand what I was doing. But well, I made my way. It was difficult. I didn't have money. It was very difficult to live month by month doing just this. But no, here I am now. Things are doing great. But well, I am a DJ since I am 14. I was first a DJ, and after that I became a producer. I've actually started making tracks in 2008 because I felt it was like the next step. I'm a DJ, but I want to play my own tracks. I have all of these tracks from other artists, but I want to do my own, and I want to see what I can do. So I started to learn how to make music, the research, making courses, making my way into the music production world. And this is how it happens. So what happens with us? We travel a lot. DJs travel. I travel a lot during the weekend, mainly uh, playing DJ. But during the week, I am in the studio making music and making my own music. I don't produce for other artists, but I'm there creating music and writing music in the studio.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I play
incredible.
them during the week, and I remix some artists, collaborate with another. But mainly it's this.
Wow.
We DJ what we produce during the week.
Yeah. Yeah. So there was a shift there for you in 2008. That's when I started doing East Forest too. Maybe that was some kind of powerful year, 2008, where I also was doing other music and other things, and that's when things started to change for me too. Um, it's it's a really incredible journey, and you've been doing it for so long. Uh, where do you think like this whole scene is going with like AI music and you see firsthand like all these different kinds of festivals and people? Do you think it's going to continue as it is, or what changes do you see coming?
It grew so much since I started. It
Yes,
became
it did.
so much more popular. And especially in Brazil, when I started, there was no electronic music. It was pure passion. So I started this whole thing pure 100% love and passion. Otherwise, I couldn't have. I don't think I could have endured till now doing just this. But it's so big now, and there is the response is all the festivals are sold out. Here in Europe, for example, like the 180,000 people. In Brazil, they are doing a festival now, Tomorrowland, and they sold out 180,000 tickets in 3 hours. So
Wow.
this is the kind of parties and festivals I am playing, and I don't know actually where this goes. I think it continues, but with the AI, I really don't know what to tell you about this yet. Really, I can't see how
Are
this
you
is.
worried that like electronic music in particular, AI, well, that's one of the first areas that they would just be like banging out music.
Yeah, because you just like do it for me, do this kind of music based on this artist, and he can give you a track. But I
Yeah,
feel that when we write a track, when we put something out, to the world, it comes with our essence. It comes with our field. We take from the field, and we create something. It comes with our filter and our soul in it. I don't see how this would work with AI. I would think it would feel empty. But this is my vision right now. I don't know. This can completely change. But I'm not worried, actually. I'm not worried. Not yet,
well,
though.
what do you want to do? Right. What are you wanting to see your future be? Do you want to do 20 more years of more DJing or not? Or what are you excited about?
Well, after I don't know if we're gonna talk about this, but the ambient music came after a strong experience I had in
L-
2017.
Let's talk about it. Yeah,
In
tell me.
2017, and I started to experience music in a new way. It was not just music for music, which is pretty powerful already, but it's music to heal and to connect with yourself and to enhance and to support yourself and find your way. So my relationship with music became much deeper, and I am going through this change right now. I have this ambient project, and I want to use this music to connect and to make open space for people to also meet this place inside themselves.
Beautiful.
But no, I don't think I'm going to be DJing for 20 more years. I can't stop working with music, I feel, even if I have to write just for myself. But I'm gonna find a way. I think I'm going to your area after 20 years. I see myself doing more kind of a ceremony performance where we can guide people for you know, hold space for people to go deeper and to have this relationship with music that I feel can heal and it's a connection. Music for me is my connection with my inner world now, and I think I can hold the space to people. So this is where I see myself going. I want to go to my show and bring my kids, for example. I cannot
Uh-huh.
do. I don't have kids, but if I want to do something that I can bring my kids with me when I have them. And right now, I don't feel I can bring my kids to the club, maybe to a festival, but I see myself in that area, maybe sound healing with music performance. Let's see. I think things are developing, things are happening. I don't even know how things are happening this way. It's beautiful. I'm open and see where it goes.
Do you think like it's not as possible inside the more electronic high energy world for those same kinds of connections? Because traditionally, back in the day, people were taking MDMA and they're like, this is it. This is the connection to myself and the universe is through these ecstatic high peak moments. And I hear you saying you feel like, and you've been there and
No,
you're
no,
feeling like
I think
it's
it is.
now, but you're like, feel something special in those more subtle parts of music.
Yeah, I like this sort of. I like because it is more contemplative. For me, it is like this. It can be a group thing, like your shows, for example. But the relationship I have with this now is the music and myself.
Yeah,
I'm
very
understanding
personal.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's very personal, and I'm understanding myself and my emotions and what I have inside with the music, with this kind of music. So I think it's very powerful. But for sure, the high energy music can be a celebration, can be a moment of connection and in symbiosis with the crowd. It can be like a celebration of freedom and connection. It's not that it's not this, but I don't see myself in clubs playing at 4 a.m. anymore
That's
for
the
20
hardest
years.
part, right? Like if you're in the electronic world, your set times are at like 4 a.m., which I'm too old for that. It's just like I don't want to stay up all night, multiple times, That's hard.
Yeah.
Is that hard for
I
you?
love summer because we do mainly day festivals, and it's so nice in nature with the sun. Everybody's super relaxed. This
Yeah.
I feel I could be doing many more years. But I don't know. I feel already my career and the way I relate with music changing, and I cannot stop that. And I super love this music that I did with intentions right now. But I'm gonna
Yeah.
have two projects. I'm not stopping high energy techno and deep house, tech house, but I'm starting something that I don't know where it goes. But I'm starting something. I'm making my way into this.
Do you feel a lot of pressure from your team or people you work with? They're like, "Hey, just keep doing the thing that makes money and is working." Like, you know.
No, I was lucky actually because when this happens, I was in the peak of my career. Really, when 2 years ago, everything that I always dream was happening to me in my techno world, my underground music world.
What are some of those highlights? Like, what are some of the highlights that happened to you?
I was gonna be cover of magazine, but mainly playing in the best festivals of the world, like Coachella, Tomorrowland, Lollapalooza, all the festivals you can imagine. I was Ultra Music Festival, Movement Detroit, all the big clubs I was gonna play. I was making more money. As you said, I was having recognitions, making remixes, signing in the best. So like, I was in the zone. And then COVID happened, and which was not well, it was a strange situation, but it was when I had the time to stop, like the craziness, and see, like in here, what what my soul
That's
wanted to
that's
do.
when we were doing a lot of the music, and the same thing with me and John. I don't think that like the problem is you, John, you're busy. Like COVID gave space to
Gave me
try
space
things
because,
and be home. Be like, yeah, let's make some music.
like you said, there is the team that I work with, and not their fault, because at any moment I can say, guys, I don't want to do this anymore, or I need some time, and they're gonna give me. But I was lucky enough that they loved the music that I was doing, and they embraced it, and they even pushed me to do more and to
Oh, it's
create the
great.
album. So they were there 100%. We didn't know if we were gonna sign the album, or how what we were gonna do with it, because when I was doing it, also it was not expecting anything. I was doing the music, but they embraced it and they worked a lot, because the album was, I tell you later, it was such a flow to finish everything. But the company of the album after it was signed, it was a big deal.
It's a
So
major label. Yeah.
yeah, they embrace it, and they, in the end, we did this beautiful project together. But there is not even a moment that they told me, no, let's continue with this, maybe you should take this time to do a techno album, and when things come back, we're going to be even bigger. No, nothing of the sort. And
Hmm.
even now they told me, why don't you take 3 months and figure it out, what do you do with this ambient project, create your live show and everything. So they are really supporting.
Are
It's
you
really
going to
nice.
do that? You working on
Yes.
doing shows that are different for you?
Yeah, because I want to do live shows for the ambient. I don't want to
Cool.
DJ. I don't think it makes much sense to me. I want to play the music I've been creating for ambience, but it's very difficult to figure out who I am and what I can do touring 3 countries a week. I need space. I need to stop everything and put
Yeah.
my 100% of my energy in something, because right now I am splitting my energy. There is two words that I put a little bit here and a little bit here, and nothing grows. So I need to take my time to figure out who I am in this new world, and
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
need like 6 months or a
exactly.
year.
I
You
need
know,
friends.
I feel the same way. Like I feel like I've lately wanting a long time where I don't have to travel and tour because I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself in a way that's really frustrating. And I can feel that something wants to just change, but it's almost impossible to do when you have an event and you're preparing for the event. You have to prepare, and you're like, well, I don't have time to, I need a lot of time. And so I've only got 3 weeks. So I have to keep rehearsing, keep doing the tools that work. And it can be a very difficult tension inside your career where you can feel that something new is wanting to emerge but not having the space to do it, because we both know that when you're up there and there's all those people, whatever system you bring to play, that's on you. Like, the people there are just like, I don't know, plug in, do your thing. And it's like, you have to build that system. You have to rehearse it. You have to make sure it's reliable and it works. And the only way to do that is testing and repetition and feeling like you're in the flow.
Yeah. And it's very frustrating when you feel something so strong, wanting to, to come
Yeah.
up, and you don't have time and you don't have the energy, because I feel I need 1 month without doing anything, just to reset, and
Three
then
months. Yeah.
no, no, but then I start the project. I feel that I need to put
Oh,
my
yeah. Just, yeah.
but it's very
Well,
frustrating, because then you start to blame your career. I'm playing too much. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do this, and then you don't understand what is happening. But I think is this something is asking for your attention so much, and you cannot. You can. We can, if we say like, okay, I'm done for 3 months. I need to be by myself to allow this to come up. But yeah, it can be frustrating, and I am in this phase that I but it's my fault too, because I am afraid to leave the no. I am still attached, because I want to put my energy 100% in the new, but I am attached to the old, not the old, but the no, what is comfortable to me. I don't want to leave this. I want to know, maybe let's leave 3 more projects while I do this. I'm still, it's my fault, I'm still attached to the.
well, it's your work too. I mean,
I love to, I
it's your
love.
job, and so it's like you don't you want to be smart about it. I mean, maybe wouldn't it be fun? It's like you, me, Rada, bring somebody else if you want. And it's like we did have a tour, and we could do a tour together. We can prepare, and it's like ambient, but it's live. And then maybe it goes into some beats. It's a little bit of it all, and you can do a little couple week run. I think that'd be a blast.
It would be amazing after your show, for example, in San Diego. We finish with 1 hour dance.
Yes, it just crosses. It gets then more energy. You could take over, and it turns into a dance thing. That'd be.
It turns
I've
out
done
to
that.
be celebration.
Yeah, yeah, I've
Because
done
I
that
like to
actually.
record
Where
things.
like Rada's DJ'd sometimes. Like, so I play, and it goes right into her set, and I'm like, it works. It really works. You have the deep experience, and then people basically get up, and it turns into a dance party.
Yeah, because I left your concert in San Diego in bliss. I was ready to celebrate with people. Really, I left in pure bliss and said, "Mil, we could dance for 1 hour now."
Let's do it. Let's do a tour where I play and then you play, and it'll be like no one would expect that too. They'll be like East Forest Anna, and she's gonna do the. I'm like, yeah, it's just come and see. Like, no
Yes.
one's doing that at electronic events. It starts on the floor, lying down, and it ends super high energy, like full on sound system. That would be incredible. People would
Yes.
be very surprised.
Yeah, let's think about this.
Let's think about it. All right, we'll think about it. No commitment on your part. Let me ask
No,
you.
why not? Of course, commitment on my part. We can
um,
finish with like our let you
I
in.
know. I'm just eager. I'm eager to. It's exciting to me. I really like what you do, and I like finding creative ways to bring in surprising elements into. I'm always trying to think about live shows and how to do them in different ways, and that to me would be very different. And I like the potential
Hmm.
for something different. Um, I wanted to ask you though, circling back a bit, what's it been like being a woman in a very male, electronic, masculine field? Even a lot of these festivals, to me at least, are very masculine energy, and having to put things, maybe you tell me, on hold, like having kids or things that aren't maybe in a male world they don't even think about. There's sort of expectations to just show up and do the job. I mean, what's that experience been like all these years?
Well, I never put much attention into it. I am a woman in this field. I always felt very comfortable for some reason. They're playing even like with more men than women. When I started, actually, there was almost none,
Right.
especially in Brazil. Even my father told me that he suggested, after he told me many many years, because he didn't see any women and there was a lot of prejudice in women,
Right.
very masculine, exactly, especially the underground, the scene where I am is very masculine. With me, I never felt uncomfortable or any of this, but I see what happens. I see the sexism. I see how women need to prove themselves. Why are you there playing? Maybe
Yeah, like
because,
more.
yeah, maybe because you, I don't know, you slept with someone. There is never a trust in women. We always have to prove ourselves much more than men to prove why we are in this position. I feel this, but I feel also that it's changing because women are uniting, highlighting one another. We have more space now. And I used to say, in a very like really pure way, when I see some actions, you have to book 50% women and 50% men. We have to do this, and I was like, but music is not about this. Comes from the soul. The soul doesn't have this. But now I see the importance because it's so out of balance that I see the importance of doing this, of in doing these efforts to bring back the balance. And then the music is going to speak louder and it's going to speak by itself. But now it's so out of balance, even though it's better now. Women are coming back, and the feminine energy is taking its place again.
Right.
But I feel we still need to put effort to bring women up, even if we have to to do this effort to, okay, we have to because I see a lot of this now in festivals, that people are how I say in English, are putting pressure that the lineups has to be at least 50-50-50, because
50%.
yeah,
Wow.
50%, because we want to see more women. And I didn't understand this before, but now I see why this is important. We need to bring balance. We need to put women out there to inspire another women, for women to see that it is okay to be in this industry, that is safe, and that is so they can be inspired and try also and give it a try. Because I think I talk with a lot of women and they say that sometimes no, they are just afraid to go there. That is very intimidating. So, and when
Wow.
they see like someone doing well and having a space, they feel inspired and they go. So I see very a lot of value in the effort that is being done now to bring back to balance. And then the music is gonna speak louder, because we don't want more women or more men. We want balance, and it has to be natural without force. But now this effort is helping a lot, I feel.
Do you feel that originally when you were coming up in the techno space, did you ever feel like you were intentionally putting out more of a aggressive energy in order to find your place, and now you feel more comfortable and this ambient is a bit more feminine, or is it not any sort of gender at all?
No, but I don't know if it was intentional or just like unconscious, but I never dress very feminine in the industry I am. I never, especially in the last 10 years, it was always more like a t-shirt. I never like put a lot of makeup or made myself very feminine for my shows. And I remember I used to dress like this before. I was more feminine, more, I used to dress myself more, to put myself together better. But when I started to play, especially when I started to play in Europe, I kind of stopped that. I don't know if it was on purpose or no, but I feel, but maybe no, but I feel that now I want to put this feminine energy back, even when playing techno. I want to put my makeup, I want to do my hair, I want to, be a woman and dress like a woman, like I want, because I can't. I'm just gonna dress in black. I may put this t-shirt that I'm not gonna be very feminine, and I think talking with you right now, just realized it was not intentional, but it was kind of a protection maybe. And I
Yeah,
never
I
thought
could see
about it.
that. I could see that.
I never thought about this. I just realized it was kind
I'm
of a protection, or maybe you're too feminine, you're not gonna be taken serious, so kind of this kind of thought.
I'm putting this over my camera because the sun is coming in here. That kind of works. All right. I think that makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, look, even for myself, if I were to step into that world, I would feel quite intimidated. There's such a strong energy. If you want to call it masculine, it's just very like I'm gonna just call it aggressive. And that's
Hmm.
also what makes a lot of that music very interesting is sort of the energy. And I think we would all find ways to protect ourselves, all sorts of different ways. Sometimes people do like costumes, right? Like a dead mouse or and it's a way or even Daft Punk. It's a way of creating a bit of separation between like I'm just a person up here and it's exciting to have this much power over a crowd, but it's also somewhat scary. It's a lot to handle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know actually. In this case, I feel I was always very raw when I'm playing. I am there. I am comfortable. I was playing at Sonar the other day, last year or this year. I don't remember. Last year, and I was so anxious. I don't know what was happening. I was having like a panic attack. I don't know. It was a weird week. I was
In
very
Spain or in Iceland?
in Spain. In Spain.
Yeah.
And then I went to the stage. I immediately calmed down. It should be the contrary. It should be the opposite. But
Right.
I felt hugged by the stage. I was in there, so it was like an energy went out of me, and I was home. So I feel I am very raw when I'm playing. I it's not uncomfortable. I am protected. I don't know how to explain how comfortable I feel when I'm there, and not in a way that I am here. No, I'm having all the power. No, it's like I'm home with
Mm.
people. I'm here. I'm
It's
gonna
familiar.
taking care of everything. I'm here to work. I'm here to to protect. And but the thing of protecting myself from the masculine energy, I feel that's why I was the way I dress. I feel that
Yeah.
I was gonna be judged if I was too feminine. And
Yeah.
talking with you, I felt this now. Yeah.
Mm. That's a really interesting insight. Well, is the hardest thing about your job then right now, is it the travel and sort of not and time? And I mean, I know traveling is no matter how you do it, it can always be easier for sure. There are ways to make it less bad, but it's still you're moving your body around. It's difficult. What
Yes.
would you say is the hardest thing for you that you face?
I think the hardest thing it is the traveling. It is too much. It is too much. It's too many flights a week, and then I have 2 days at home, 3 days at home, and I am pretty good with taking care of myself during tour. But I don't drink. I always try to find a sauna and a cold plunge. I meditate a lot. I do breath work. But even then, when I have three days at home, I need one day without doing anything.
Mm.
I love not doing anything, and I love not being busy. I love to contemplate and to look at the sky for hours. I love this. And I have 3 days at home, and I have to go to studio and create something. So
Right.
this with time, I start to feel the pressure, and a lot of deadlines, a lot of new project, and many new gigs on my schedule. I start to get like a little bit stressed, but it is the traveling, and
Yeah.
I miss my routine. But maybe I miss because I don't have here like this. If I was having my routine, I was gonna miss some adventure. So I try to remember this also and enjoy. But it's difficult. It's difficult to be on the road and hotel beds all the time.
I get the most stressed out about logistics. Like when I have to think about how to get to this thing or how the gear, how I'm gonna get this to this country. And I just like even just saying that. I'm not even talking about a specific thing. I can feel the anxiety raising in my body, and it can be so intense that I'm just like, I can't do this. I just might cancel the whole tour. Like I can't do this. It's too much stress.
Yeah. Do you
It's
do you
gotten
travel with
worse.
your Nord stage?
Do I
Do you
what?
do you travel with your Nord stage, or do
Yeah.
you ask for one?
No,
And
I travel with it because I'm worried that if I backlined it, they'd get the wrong one, and then
Mm,
it wouldn't. I couldn't load on because I have to load on my set because it's very specific. And if they do that, I'm in big trouble, you
yeah.
know. And they just be like, "Sorry, you got to play," and I'd have to just figure it out.
I'm lucky that I have a logistic person that works for me, and she is fantastic. She does it with so much love because it's such a hard job. It's too much responsibility, but she does it so well that I don't have to do anything. I don't have to worry. I just have to approve the flight. So maybe you need to find yours.
Yes, yes, I'm
Very
working on that. I'm working on that. I am working on that. That's just so important. Well, um, I know you got to run. We probably can't even say why you have to run, right? It's not even announced. But I mean, you're meeting with some cool
No,
musicians.
I have some time yet. If you no, but we can say.
All right, you have to go because you have to go hang out with Depeche Mode because you're doing a big remix for them, which is very cool and very fan. It's a very rock star thing to have. I gotta run, gotta meet with Depeche Mode. So
No, no, it's not that. Yeah, but I have to meet them. They are playing here in Barcelona. I did a remix for Martin Gore. It's my second time working with them, and we are gonna meet here. They're gonna play at Primavera Sound. We're gonna meet them in a bit. We
fun,
still have some time.
fun, yeah. So what else? See, the album's out. It's called Intentions, and it's on vinyl too, which is very exciting. I'd love to get a vinyl if there's a way I can get
Oh,
one
let me
with our song. I mean, maybe I'm
yeah,
gonna be in Europe.
I wanna send
Oh,
you
that's
one.
cool. Yeah, that's beautiful. Tell the label to do it. Get them to do some work for you. Yeah.
to-
Say, here's his address. Send him a few copies. I talked to technically. I know how these majors are. It's like Universal's the big company, and then there's Mercury KX, and there's DECCA, and I talked to DECCA during the pandemic about doing some stuff. It didn't work out, but wasn't quite the right situation for me. But I've always thought Mercury KX has some interesting artists. Like Oliver Arnold's did some work with them,
I
and
just did a remix for all of four,
oh, cool,
and his wife Sandra Yati. It's gonna be released maybe in July. I
oh,
sent.
cool. I'm gonna be in Iceland in like a week or something. I'm playing a little show there, and then going over to Dublin or sorry Ireland for the Beyond the Pale. That Jon Hopkins will be there too.
Oh, cool. On
Yeah,
the week there's someone there's I put a okay. Sorry, there was
they're
some. I'm in
telling
a
you got to go.
hotel. I mean,
Oh,
because we scheduled this, and then I had to come to Barcelona. But yeah, the album is out. We have the pleasure of having East Forest in the album.
oh, my honor. Yeah, and Laraji too, right?
Laraji. That's why I say this album is so surreal to me. How it happened, because when I started working with this music, it was for myself. I'm
The
no so
hotel needs you. Yeah.
no. Thank you so much. They brought some sweets for me. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
When I started to explore this music, because I always produced the music that I was going to play in my shows.
right.
Different
That makes
styles,
sense.
house music, sometimes vocal, but it was gonna be the music that I was gonna play in my shows. But in 2017, I went through this experience. I went to do a neurofeedback training that they advertise as you stay there 1 week and you have the brain of a 4-year meditation monk.
Okay.
I said, okay. 1 month after I was there doing this training, I went there because I wanted to make more success, make better music, be more creative. It was not like a spiritual thing. And well, I arrive at the place, start to do their procedures and everything, and something happened in there. So they discovered that through forgiveness, the training is called Alpha Brainwave Training. So they teach you how to achieve these peak performances through having bursts of alpha brain. And they discovered that the best way to have alpha brain, to have these bursts of alpha, is through forgiveness. So they teach you a forgiveness method that you go through your life. Trying to find the ways that you think people wronged you, in my perception, because in the end you understand that there is nothing to be forgiven. And you go to this chamber, dark chamber, with the EEGs in your head, and then you forgive, and then you forgive. And I saw my brain change the baseline of alpha. It tripled the baseline of alpha. I saw my brain how do I say in English? I saw my brain getting the coherence, much more coherent, because I was seeing the results. I was seeing the scan of my brains and everything. So I was just there forgiving like minor things because I think I don't have any major trauma. But I left this place completely surrendered to live from the heart and to my soul. I completely forgot about any greed or wants that I had. I was just, I was not sleeping. I was sleeping 3 hours a night. I had a lot of energy. I work with a lot of energy there. Also, I released maybe a lot of blocks. So this allowed me to have more energy in my brain. So I was in a super high state for 1 month. I was eating very little, sleeping for 3 hours. I was waking up at 3 in the morning to study Yogananda and Hamad Maharshi and all the spiritual teachers I could find. I was with hunger for spirituality and to understand this place that I touched. So this is where this music comes from. So this happened in 2017, and I my relationship with music completely changed. um, Things that before were here already, but it was not open to me. Like classical music, for example, had no effect on me. But after that experience, I was completely open. I listened to Mozart, and I'm right there in love and crying with with nature. So this was close to me before. I don't know. I understand a little bit of what happened there, but I changed my circuitry. I changed my frequencies, and now I can see what is already in here and
Still,
appreciate it. Yeah.
this is 6 years later. Was this Silva
No, this is
stuff?
not Silva. This is a place called Bio Sabernauts. Davy Asper has something similar, but it's not that I'm recommending this. This happened to me in this place,
It's
and
pretty
you
big endorsement. I mean, it's a
yeah,
big
but
change for you.
yes, I'm not recommending this,
Okay,
but
don't go.
this
Yeah.
is what happened to me, and it was like a turning point. It was very drastic, the change. Not that before I was no,
You just
but
needed something to help unlock you. It seems like it was waiting to happen.
it unlocked very strongly. It was like a
Yeah.
turning point. But since then, I started to the path is of course like this, but it didn't I have been developing, and I did many retreats of vipassana. I've studied energy healing, some years with shamanism, and I am just doing this for myself, but I've been in this world since 2017, figuring things out, and also cultivate this place that I found here inside of myself, this love, this God inside myself, is growing, and I'm having these experiences, and this became my life. Nothing's more important now than this. No music, no career, no relationships,
Mm.
anything. This is everything. This place, this love inside my chest. And this music is my conversation with God. It's how I communicate with this place inside of me, is how I love it, is how I love the words, how I love God, and it helps me to enhance. It helps me to go back there. So the music came from this situation, all of this situation. So it was a tool for me in the beginning. I didn't want to share with no one, but things started to happen so organically. The collaborations to have Larage in the album for me is like how this happened, like how. And Jon Hopkins wanted to do the remix. Max Cooper remixed our track that is going to be released
Oh
soon.
yeah. When does that come out?
They just sent like a possible schedule. I'm gonna send you. I think it's July 16, something like this.
It is so good. Max Cooper's remix of
It's
"Let
so
You
good.
In." Really, it's so good. The ending, I'm like, wow.
It's
I mean, it's
amazing.
what I really just say wow at the end. I'm like, that was masterful.
When I heard, I said, "Oh my God, Krishna is gonna love this."
Oh, it's so good. I saw him play for the first time at where were we? Recently. God, I never can remember what's where. Um Oh, at the South by Southwest, there was a party and he played an event and he did his 3D projection. You ever seen that where he's in between two screens?
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning.
Yes. Very.
I'm so impressed with his work. He's been on the podcast. For those who haven't, they should go back and listen to that. Um, I love his work. Yeah.
But then now it's out. Now it's here. Now it's here, and it came from this place. I didn't. It was not my intention to share with anyone. I was doing this. I was doing these tracks as tools. So that's why it's called
Yeah.
intentions, because each track is encoded with one intention. For example, the first one is invitation. It is an invitation to give a pause in your day, to connect with yourself, to because we are 100% in that loopy the whole day. We don't stop, we don't connect. So it's an invitation to give a pause. So what I was doing is activating these states in myself and translating it to the sounds that I was doing, and encoding with the intention of allow stillness for whoever listen, to facilitate a state of stillness, because this was a tool for me, so how I can do for others. So this is why it's called intentions, and it comes with a booklet that you can understand the intention of each track and read the intention and invite in your field. But this is the work, and this is now we signed with this big label. We have all this collaboration, all this help. It was so beautiful to see. That's why I want to put my energy into this work, because it comes from such a pure place, and things happen with such a flow and without efforts, that I feel that I need to put myself there a little bit to see.
Yeah, well, you are. You are.
I
Um,
feel I could do more, but I am. It's true.
did you talk about doing a video, or how did that pan out for the record?
Which the video clip.
You thought, well, I think you were discussing doing a video for one of the songs, or
Yeah, we did one. We did for we were gonna do for our track and for another one, but it didn't work out very good yet. We did a documentary, short movie for the whole album,
hmm,
but we didn't do like a music video yet. But this is something we can discuss. But
where is the documentary? This short
the
documentary.
documentary is on my YouTube channel.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I want to see that.
called Journey into Intentions.
Cool, very cool. Well, congratulations on the record. I know it's a long time coming for you,
Yeah.
and I'm happy for you, and happy that it sounds like it's a very organic opening that's happening in your life and in your musical career. And I think that's just, it's exciting.
Yes, thank you so much. Thanks for being part of it. It's so amazing to have you there, because you are really,
Oh,
you are with me since 2017.
mm.
Your
Well,
music
it's,
I was doing journeys with your music, just with your music, and understanding so many things, so many downloads and things opening up just listening to your music. It's very pure, and it is very powerful.
thank you. Thank you. Well, it's been really fun dropping into your world, and I hope we can do more. We're going to do this one day. We're going to do this tour where, imagine, it's the line down East Forest Road, and then we cross over and we both do kind of your music, my music, right? And
Yeah,
then it moves into your music, 3 hour event.
going to the ceremony of understanding, of going deeper, and then the time of celebration.
Oh my
After
God.
you finish a ceremony, you feel like celebrating most
It
of the.
would blow people's
Yeah,
minds.
let's do it.
I
Let's
don't
do.
even think it would be that hard to do because we're each on bookends doing what we already do. We're like, I got this, I got this. And then the middle part would be a blast because we could create it in a way where it's a little bit improvisational, but there's like, maybe it goes into let you in those things. But you would love it because it's like we just find some instruments that you like to play, whether it's a drum machine thing with this or that. And it would be very like every night it could be a little different. I guarantee you would love it because it's very live, you know.
Of course, I was gonna. I know I was gonna. I know I'm going to love it. Yeah, even with you, it's gonna be amazing. With you and Rada, it's gonna be amazing.
We
Let's
just
talk
do
about.
yeah, we'll do a run and you just need to book out. That's the problem. You'd have to book out like 2 weeks to do it and then a week to rehearse or something in Europe or
Yeah, we
US.
need to rehearse. Yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit. But let's do it,
Well,
because I start these events and to do this kind of events that we,
yeah, you got to plan it in the future.
open.
Do
Yeah.
you play a lot in the US?
Yes, I
Yeah.
play. I'm going
Any
to.
events you want to talk about coming up or plug or just have people check out your new record?
Yeah, check out Intentions on Spotify and all platforms.
Yeah.
And for to play my underground techno award, I think I'm going to New York next in August. New York, and I
Okay.
forgot really, I don't know where I go. I'm going next week. But
Crazy.
New York in August for my US
Okay.
friends.
Well, I do think people in the community here at the podcast would enjoy your record. So that's why I thought it'd be great to bring it to their attention. If they like East Forest, they'll be into this work, and I'll put the links in the show notes. And hopefully we can talk. I thought your English is fantastic. So I don't know. I know you were self conscious about it, but you did a great job.
Yeah, I couldn't. It was the 70%. I couldn't find the words to
I know,
express the way I
but
want, but I'm proud of myself that I did.
believe me, if we did this in Russian, people would be like, I have no idea what he's talking about. Yeah. He keeps saying the same 5 words over again. Well,
I
thanks,
never
Anna.
studied English. I just learned traveling. I never done any lesson, English lesson. So
I'm impressed. Yeah. And are you also self taught with music as well, as DJing in particular?
yeah, DJ 100%. Even though my father was a DJ, he never taught me one little thing.
He's like,
So
you got to get up there at 14 and figure it out. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for talking.
Thank you for having me. Much love. Ciao, ciao.